morning. Rick Shaw here. It's Tuesday the 9th of March, 2021, and we've got a drizzly day today. I'm kind of glad it's drizzling a little bit. Last night over across the river they were doing some serious burning. They had a huge fire going, and it was putting that black stringy ash all over everything. And the kind you touch it, it's greasy. Got all over the cars, and it actually made it all the way up a couple streets from here. And over by the first street, it was pretty bad. That stuff burns, goes up in the air, and then starts dropping like rain. And we had quite a bit of it here. One of the sad things I saw, we were watching for the last 6 or 7 months, these folks building this big house across the river. And beautiful house, fantastic, nice windows. Hi, baby. Oh, there you go. Good colors. That's more of a golden color, the ginger. Okay? But yours is special. Okay. She's doing her coloring today. We got the tutor here today. So they're working with Mumu right now, and she's doing a little bit of coloring right now. But they built this beautiful house, a big swimming pool in the back. They got this big party area. And I guess, I don't know what the party was, but must have been like a housewarming or something like that, because it was just completed only a couple weeks ago. And they had this big party over there, singing karaoke and stuff. I was up at about 2:30, and I went for a hike. And I like to walk down by that river area. It's nice and quiet, and no dogs barking, so I can get some nice walking back and forth in there without the dogs harassing the heck out of me. And they weren't too loud with the karaoke and stuff, and they were still singing and partying and stuff. But the next morning, I got up, I came back in, and then I laid down for a while, and Mumu woke up, so he likes to go for a walk with me in the morning. We were up right around dawn. The sun hadn't cracked the side yet, but so we went walking over there, and they were taking full bags of garbage and tossed them over their fence down into the river, and balloons. And there's ducks down there. When them balloons run out of air, them ducks are going to think that's something to eat, and that's the end of them. I've seen that a lot, eating plastics and stuff. But it was really disheartening. There's garbage trucks that come by. Put your garbage in a garbage truck. Why did they throw it over the fence down into the river? But while we were walking that day, something I saw really cool. You've seen how deep that was. If you looked at my video on those pictures of that, it's very steep there, and there's the kids use a rope to climb all the way down to play in the river. Well, they also have on the one end over there, they have a ladder. They have a ladder that goes up to that first ledge, and then from that first ledge to the last ledge, there's another ladder, and then there's a ladder up to this like vacant lot. It's all sandy there. And I saw 3 people down there. They were harvesting that vegetable that grows in the river. It's like a little cabbage type thing, but it's oval shaped. It's got the leaves on the top. I forget what they call it. We use it a lot when my wife makes soups and stuff. It's really a chewy vegetable, but we like it. We use it regular basis, a couple times a week. Well, the cool thing was, the dude down there was harvesting, and he had himself a big old thing. There was two women down there. One woman looked like she was about 50, and the other woman was in her 70s. And the dude was a young man. He was probably 30s, 35, and he carried this big thing. He had a big old thing on his shoulder, and he went up that wooden ladder and made it up to the top. But guess what? Both the girls, the 50s and the 70-year-old, they boogied right up that ladder too. And how many people in the States would you say 70-year-old that a woman would do that? And the other thing you'll see here that just amuses me is you'll see a little old grandma lady, an old grandma lady on the back of the bike cooking. Maybe her grandson's taking her somewhere. It just amazes me that they'll do that. I've also seen, there's one fella up here. He's a real old timer. He's probably 90. He's really up there. He's the old father around here, and he walks pretty slow, and he's pretty bent over, but smiling all the time. And I saw him on the bike one day, not on the passenger. He was driving it. You know, it just tickles me. It tickles me that they can do that. I'm looking forward to getting a bike here really soon. I had said this in many videos past. That's a psychiatrist for me. Every time I have a problem, you know, where things just aren't going right, motorcycle will fix me right up. A motorcycle ride. Always loved it. But the rain's starting to come down pretty good. I'm glad it's washing that ash off a little bit. But not too much else going on. I just was bummed out about all the garbage in the river, and we do see a lot of ducks down there, and we see a lot of bats up over that way too in the evening when I'm walking. So I see a lot of bats flying over and catching the bugs, which is a good thing. I did have somebody leave me a message that a hamster eats ticks and stuff. Thanks for the tip, because if that's the case, I'll get a couple of them and leave them loose around my place. That were, you know, because we still are planning to get a dog. I talked to them down there about that loose dog in the neighborhood with all the dog crap over, and they said, yeah, that's definitely unacceptable, and they'll talk to the guy. You know, it's funny. Over here now, on this corner house, there was a little kid, Joseph. My son was playing with him quite a bit. Both the boys go over there and they play stuff, and they ride bikes with those kids. And the mom there, I don't think she's their mom. I think it's her daughters that might be out of, you know, OFW or something like that. And she's just caring for the kids because she's an older lady. And there's a younger guy there. That's the father. I know that's the father for sure. But they've got 10 dogs now that they do not keep in. They're just out. And when you talk to them and mention it, they're like, nah, we don't want them in there. But they're their dogs. And it just bugs the heck out of me that that's the way you keep a dog around here. You lock them out of your own place so they don't crap, and let them crap everywhere else. You know, out of sight, out of mind, just like the people throwing the garbage over in the river. Not their problem anymore. And that is a mentality here that, you know, I would like to see. Somebody said, oh, that's just the Filipino way. No, I was here when Marcos was in. I never remember garbage like that. I never remembered the undisciplined driving. I never remembered any of that. They were very disciplined people. You know, the driving was good. Even when you got into a couple of the traffic areas, people were moving. It was very clean. I don't remember any garbage anywhere. You know, people throwing garbage all over. And another thing, when you go to the provinces, we've been out to Leyte. I've been in Negros, and I've also been in Mindoro. And you see these little tributary rivers coming into stuff, and people living on. There's no garbage all over the place. It seems like when they come here, their manners get bad. You know, somebody just said that best thing to do with a Filipino wife is keep them over here, because when they bring them to America, that's when they go haywire. And I said, yeah, that's all nationalities. It's just what happens in America. And I think that's what happens when Filipinos come to Luzon, southern Luzon. And I've been up in northern Luzon, and that's another thing. You get up in them old Spanish towns up there, very beautiful. They just don't allow it. And I think if these LGUs, they call it, local government units, would put the hammer down on this, it would stop. You know, you see people here, they'll go up to a sorry store, and they'll buy a little cake or cookie or a pack of cigarettes or something. They'll pull the wrappers off, and there may be a garbage can sitting right there, and they'll just throw the garbage on the ground and walk away. But I think that's it's mostly in this area, because, you know, when my wife and I were thinking about it, when we were down south, we didn't see that. We went a few times to see her sister down in Mindoro, and the one city, Califan, we just kind of breezed through it, you know, in and out. It didn't seem too bad. We were at that. Can't remember the name of the other town, but it's on the the northwestern coast. I think it's Puerto de Galera. That was a really clean town. You know, more high end. A lot of foreigners here. That was pretty clean, but I don't remember all the garbage and dirt. We took a whole tour on that, all the way down to the southern end of the island and all the way back up the end. And all the towns were very clean, just beautiful little towns. When I was in Leyte, same thing. I went all the way to southern Leyte. I was down to the town, all the way down as far as Chalago from Tacloban, and cruised that road all the way down and back. And you went through, there were some old and dilapidated places. They were pretty beat up. We actually went to I call it an open air market because the roof had rotted off and they hauled the roof away. So when there was a real hard rainy day, there was no market that day. And it was pretty old, but it was clean. And people had their houses painted. A lot of places they'll put them up. It's just a block and dingy and gray, and they let everything go. But down there, you'd see little old ladies. They're always keeping them up. Don't ever remember any dog poop and stuff like that all around. But the one thing down there though that was really bad. A lot of them are fishermen. This was when I was in Leyte, and they'll throw coconut hulls all around their place, the ones that live by the beach, and the crabs come in there. And they'll catch all the crabs because they use them for bait, but being those coconut shells filled with water, it made mosquitoes, and that was terrible. The mosquitoes here my big joke is they like American food. My wife hardly ever gets bit. My kids hardly ever get bit. We go up to our friend Ronald's place. When it hits around dusk, I got to hightail it or get in the house by a fan because this is no kidding. 10 of them will gangbang me at one time. It's just something about my smell. Even if I bath, we were over there. Then they hit you in the morning too. I got up in the morning, got a bath, cleaned all up and stuff, came outside, and as soon as I got outside the door away from the fan, I had 4 or 5 of them on me biting. So I don't know what it is, just the makeup of me, I don't know. I always tease my wife and say they like American food, but it's just funny. It's funny here. But Leyte, they had a lot of mosquitoes also. It was terrible down there. And the other thing I went for a lot of nature walks and stuff in Mindoro and Leyte. I really enjoyed that. But the thing that got me, you got to be real careful. I carry my stick, and you got to go because there's a lot of these really hard spider webs. I mean, if you get into them, they're not like a spider web you've ever seen before. They'll kind of grab you, and they got these huge multicolored spiders. If you're not watching out for them, you'll walk right into those. And we saw many of them. I had a lot of pictures of them before, but they were on my old phone, and I'm hoping to get this little tool I saw online where you can hook a phone into it and you can hook old hard drives and all this stuff so I can get my pictures back. I never threw those things out, but it says it can extract data from them. So, sneeze coming. So I'm hoping that's gonna work because I had a lot of pictures on my computer I brought on the hard drive, and that one we had a bad rainstorm and the water followed the wire. I didn't put a drip loop in it, followed the wire down the computer and just fried it, and nobody could get the information off the hard drive. Well, this thing says if you have an old hard drive, you hook it up and you should be able to extract the information, and it does it off of phones and discs and memory cards and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to try it. It's like 1,700 peso. I saw some good comments on it, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. Hopefully I can get pictures of my, I had lots of pictures of my Harley with the nitrous and the Pro Charger at the strip, and I had pictures of my Buick Ulysses. I had a lot of pictures of when I was in the Mojave. I had a XT 250, and I also had a CRF 650L. A lot of guys had these super duper dirt bikes, and I had my little old slow ones, and never lost them. And the one thing that they didn't have in common with me is on either one of those bikes, when I took them up to the Mojave and did all this desert riding, I never broke down once, ever. Didn't matter how hot it got. A lot of the KTM guys broke. I see a lot of KTMs here. When they first come out, I saw tons and tons of them. Guess what? You don't see that many on the road now. I don't know if they broke down or what. I know the little Duke 390 that they were selling here had tons of problems with overheating in the Philippines. It was making the brakes in the back go. The tires were messing up. Just was a serious overheating problem. I don't know if they fixed that or not, but you don't see them You know, Filipinos aren't dumb when it comes to buying something. If something's good, they'll tell all their buddies and people will buy them. If something's bad, they'll tell all their buddies and people just quit buying them. So you don't see them. The one dealership that was selling that Duke 390 like crazy, we always go by there, and it's got a big showroom window, and I don't see those in there anymore. I just don't see them. But I'm also looking for that Honda CRF 150L. I don't seem to see that one anywhere. I guess if I have to go to Manila. We're still waiting to get down to Batangas, because if you buy a bike here, you never get the plate. So they have to keep giving you these papers until your ORCR comes back. They'll give you a month or two of them. Okay, a paper fingernail. Very cool. So, you know, I don't want to have to come up here to get it, you know, and they give it to you. They won't send it to you. You think in this world with everything, they would just it and you would copy it out yourself. But none of the places I did that with did it. But I had a Rouser 135. Never got a plate to that. I had, and our old address where that one was, our friends lived there, so you know they would have gave us the mail. We told them collect any mail we get. We tried to change everything, but I neglected to do that. My tricycle, never got a plate for that. The guy that bought it, he has it. He never got a plate for it either, so the plate never come for that. My Piaggio, never got a plate for that. I mean, that's just how it goes here. The cars, they put the plate right on them and the conduction sticker, but the motorcycles, I heard somebody who was working in the license plate bureau stole all the money for the plates and took off to some other countries. So that's really terrible. But these are just some thoughts going on today. Nothing in particular, not too dangerous, but feeling pretty good this morning. Glad the tutor's here and working with the kids. And this is just Rick Shaw, and take care of each other. God bless, and...